Made a big difference, that's right. His runs really made the difference, say, between, 400 and 500 plus, which gave us the very vital first innings lead.
Lovely square cut again. Really has played that shot extremely well. 4 more to Robinson, takes him on to 87.
Good shot for 4. Tim Robinson has taken full advantage of anything around about the leg stump. He's gone to 97.
Yes, well, while Tim Robinson does like the ball on the offside, he can also play on the leg side. And this was a beautiful shot through the midwicket. Just leaned on it, timed it beautifully.
Once again, not quite sure of the bouncer, but it doesn't matter very much. He's got 100, gone from 97 to 101 with a miscued hook. That's the same stroke as he played yesterday. A terrific performance from Tim Robinson. A century at Headingley. The first English batsman ever to make a century in his first test against Australia on this ground. 143 balls, he's hit 13 fours. It's his second test 100. That's very clever play. He's waited on Thompson. Thompson's been pounding it in short so the bouncer will get up. Robinson didn't attempt to hook that, but he played that quite decisively and deliberately away behind point. And 4 more. Expensive. 2 boundaries in the 1 over. This is not the pitch where you want to be bowling one halfway down the pitch and then the next one down the leg side. It's got to be on a length and just outside off stump.
It's a lovely shot. Straight drive this time, so not only on the off and the leg, but strokes coming all round the wicket from the bat of the 26-year-old not-so-fer.
Lawson is where deep line leg, can't catch that. And the pearls of straying onto leg stump. You might have to keep Ian Botham tucked up, but you can't get onto his leg stump because he's very severe. Usually 3 runs. Graham Gooch's benefit year. Well, didn't get up as much as Botham thought it was going to. I think he probably got it pretty much on the bottom edge. It still went quickly enough away to the mid-wicket boundary. He's into position very smartly. Shot. That's the best shot he's played so far. He's gone on now to 21. And Robinson is watching quietly from the other end. And I should think very happily as well. Now, there's no man down the ground for Botham when he's facing O'Donnell. The invitation is there. It's just a question of will O'Donnell get one up in the slot. There it is. Not quite in the slot, but it's good enough.
No doubt about it. If it's there to be hit, Ian Botham's going to hit it.
and that's a delightful stroke. They say the back cut's gone out of the game. Well, those of you who think so, just have another look at that.
Yes, a bit of elegance and grace there. He's been going for the big drives, but there he played an absolutely delightful late cut.
Change in the bowling. McDermott goes off and Thompson comes on.
It's a lovely shot. Beautifully placed through the offside once again by Robinson. And even his partner Botham gave it applause. The most interesting bowling change now. Alan Border's coming on to bowl. Short, pulled away, 4 runs. Been a feature of Tim Robinson's innings. Everything, slightest bit off line, has been very severely punished. Oh, it's a beautiful stroke again. One bounce over the ropes. Magnificent straight hit. And it indeed is the 47th boundary in this England innings. 188 runs come with boundary shots. Interesting little trio there. All in their own way enjoying it. Bowler, batsman and umpire. Border to continue with his slow left arm. And swept away fine, both and not bothering to run. 4 more and scores 11. To Botham. A few more there, that's his 5th, an enormous 6. Up onto the second balcony here, right in front of us. Oh, what a great display once again of hitting. That's a point of impact there. Amazingly quick 50 has come off only 45 balls, completed with a 6 including another 10 fours.
It's pretty difficult to set a field to IT Botham.
Battle is renewed. That's helped on its way, and that's going to be 6 more. Tremendous shot. This incredible players, already got 60. All bowlers alike when he's in this sort of mood. And he's gone, and he's gone. Dragged it on and looking to play that little delicate cut shot that got him 4 runs a little earlier. That will be a great relief to the Australians and a great sadness for the big crowd here, because that has been magnificent entertainment by Botham. Bowled by Thompson for 60. And another gem of an innings. 44 for 5. And a chance for the Leeds crowd to get on the feet and applaud him up those pavilion steps.
And he's going to pick up another 4 from that. So no ball and 4 runs as well. And Robinson goes on to 162. Now, when he reached 153, he passed W.G. Grace in a test match statistic. At 155, he'd gone past Ranjit Singh. And now he's made 162, and that statistic is the highest score in an England-Australia test match from a batsman making his debut. He's going to pick up more runs there. And that is going to take him on the way to going past Julip Sinji. And then he has ahead of him Derek Randall and R.E. Foster.
And he's gone, yes, finally take that slip. So the end of a long innings there, and quite a brilliant one from Tim Robinson. Snapped up low down at slip there by David Boone off the bowling of Lawson. And this really has been an innings to remember. Beautiful controlled shots, calm, collected all the way through, never lost his cool, never got ruffled. Faced 271 balls, batted for 410 minutes and hit 27 fours. That's off the edge, and it's beautifully taken. What a brilliant catch that was. Very low, very quick, and Gower's gone for only 5. It's 59 for 2. A magnificent catch taken there by Border.
That's got to be out. Got to be out. It moved a lot. Just had the impression, the way Graham Gooch grabbed his bat as he was starting off for a single there, that I thought he got a tickle on it as well. That's a good shot. It's nothing more than a little short arm jab by Alan Lamb. 2001 runs, an average of just under 40 in 33 games. Here's Lawson now, and he's bowling to Gatting. Oh, well caught. Good catch by Wayne Phillips, and very well bowled by Geoffrey Lawson. .83 on the board now for England. They need 123 in all, and they've lost 4 wickets. It's in the air and 4. Not quite quick enough, Simon O'Donnell, to bowl short at Botham.
And he's bowled him. Well, he's never looked in real Botham nick out there. O'Donnell takes his 3rd wicket. A fairly belated call for Jeff Thompson. That's his first bowl of the innings, with England just 11 runs short of victory. Runs there, and useful ones too. 4 runs. On drive, well wide of Lawson at mid-on. Will this be it? That's in the air. Is it going to be safe? Be a good catch. Pink take. You know, he's dropped it, and that's it. They've decided. Yes, I don't think Jeff Lawson will be very happy. All that crowd converging on him. Obviously, one eye on them, one eye on the ball. So Alan Lamb got away with it, but that 1 run was sufficient to see England through to a 5-wicket victory after a very hard-fought contest indeed.
Well, David, on paper, that Headingley victory will always look as though it was fairly clear-cut, but I remember it as a marvellous match and very, very tense.
Certainly was at the finish, that's right. And I think both myself and Alan Border at the start of the match were happy to avoid, if we could, batting last on the wicket. I think we all thought it might do something to start with, but certainly batting last would be the hardest part of it. So really, I suppose the big difference, you look in the middle of that match, having bowled Australia out for 300 odd, for us to then get 500 and a good lead, thanks, I suppose, mainly to Tim Robinson's great knock, made all the difference. That gave us the leeway. That gave us a chance that if we bowled Australia out for anything reasonable again, our resulting target wouldn't be too high, which is exactly the way it worked. We made the most of it. As you say, it was a bit tense towards the finish there.
Well, you must have been chock full of confidence when you left Headingley, but what about coming to Lords? Because 1934 was the last time England beat Australia at Lords. That was by an innings, but it's a long, long time.
That's right, and in the same way as I suppose history works our way it leads, then you come to Lords and it has to work against us. In the same way again, you try and say, right, we've played well in the first test match, we won that, let's keep the momentum going now, let's not let them get back at all. Unfortunately, history prevailed, I think. What we did wrong, I suppose, you look at the match, it was the only time in the series that we didn't make the runs we should have done. Even having been put in on that first morning, the wicket was fine, there was no problems there for batting really, and we should have not been bowled out for that lowest total. And had we made our, what should have been 400 plus, then obviously the game is nearly saved anyway.
What about Alan Border's innings there?
Well, he played very well. I think the wicket was probably at its best during the middle of the match. I think neither side would have minded batting then. But we found no chink in the armour at all. He and Greg Ritchie both played very well. Whatever we did, I think, or didn't do, didn't seem to make much difference. And Alan played as well as we know he can play. We always knew at the start of the series that Alan was the one major class batsman they had. We thought perhaps Kepler Wessels as well might be another man who could make long runs, lots of runs. But AB was definitely the man to get out.
Short, and that is the appropriate answer. So Border on 49. That's it. Half century for Alan Border, the Australian captain. And how well he's played. One of the features of the Australian side this year, the applause for successful players by teammates, and especially for the captain. 71 balls, 5 fours, and 1 or 2 memorable shots as well.
Border has that pull shot absolutely right. He just placed it straight down into the ground or lets it go, just weaves away from it. But, some of the others have had a problem or two with the short one from Botham.
Alan Border's the one man you don't want to test with this because he's master of it. He's a marvellous puller of the ball, beautifully controlled.
Here's Botham now bowling to Greg Ritchie. Just have pitched in front of Graham Gooch. Be much in it. So he's going forward as well as across, and he doesn't look to be in all that good shape.
Well, it carried, hit him straight on the wrist, in fact. He just went too quick down there.
Just didn't quite time that. It's gone for 4. Didn't get it as he might have wished. It was a pretty good bouncer from Botham.
Graham Gooch to Greg Ritchie. Good shot. Easily played. So 9 runs off this over from Graham Gooch, and the 150 coming up. Paul Allott, the bowler.
Oh, superb shot.
Easy cover drive, but with all the power. Australian captain in great form. Edmonds to Border.
Well, that's an amazing catch. Now, did he hold it long enough?
He surely held it long enough, and umpire Dickie Bird says he did not. It was an amazing reaction catch by Mike Gatting off the full face of the bat.
I think Dickie Bird here made the right decision. The fielder never really having the ball under control. He may have been throwing it up in jubilation, but from that picture we can clearly see that he didn't really ever have control of the ball.
Except, of course, that Alan Border started to walk, which is... there he goes. He sees the catch, and Border starts to walk off towards the pavilion, head down.
Perhaps
nice
Mike
shot.
Gatting shouldn't have made that final desperate lunge.
Edmonds to Ritchie. Fine shot. A wider ball, and Greg Ritchie, a full follow through there. He's a strong man, powerfully built.
And that was off right at the bottom of the bat. A bit of luck there, couldn't have really have placed it better.
And this one, he's flashed down through those slips. He never lets one go by. A little short outside the off, and he's after it.
And 99 to Alan Border. Oh, and very nearly played that on.
Well, I felt for him a bit there as a batsman who once managed to get himself yorked on 99 in a test match at Brisbane. That wasn't far off.
It's an interesting over this. A cut off the bottom of the bat for 4, nearly a play on. What's next? That's it. Picked his spot very neatly, just nudged it round the corner to a long leg for the single he wanted. Up goes the bat, 100 to Alan Border. And as ever, hold of his teammates on the balcony to applaud it, in addition to a very big packed house here at Lord's. 193 for 4 the score, as Alan Border reaches 100 off exactly 150 balls. 10 fours in that century, and it's his 13th Test 100. His 4th of England, and his first here at Lord's. Edmonds to bowl.
That's just the spot you want to be. That short leg, particularly when you've been told to come in an extra 2 yards. When the bowler decides to drop one short round about leg stump.
Embry over the wicket to Border. Finally got one through the field. So forward to Alan Border after a good tight spell of spin bowling from this Middlesex pair. Border now on 1-3-2. Sweep shot to follow, and that's 4 more. Such a long sustained spell of accuracy from the off spinner. Those 2 successive boundaries to Border bring up the 250 for Australia. Still the all-spin attack of Middlesex with Edmonds again. Oh, there's a thick edge, no slip there. A quicker ball, good piece of thinking, good piece of cricket that by Edmonds, and he's very, very unlucky to have given away 4 runs.
Didn't quite time that, but it's going to race away to the boundary. Runs down the hill, and 4 more to border, takes him past 150. Ritchie taking strike to Foster. I think his captain would have been too pleased if that had gone to hand. Just with the second Newey coming along. New ball is taken now. Crucial time for both sides. Australia 6 wickets in hand. England need the breakthrough. Greg Ritchie didn't hit a boundary in the morning session. He's cracked a couple in this afternoon's play. And that's fine, just wide of both of them at second slip. 4 more. Ritchie goes to 89, and Australia go ahead of England. A lot of support there for Greg Ritchie, who's just 11 away from a century. Great joy in the dressing room this morning when Alan Border reached his 100. Foster bowling to Border. Not where he meant, but it's good enough. 4 more to Border, goes to 162. It was his highest score in Test matches. The previous one against India at Madras, 1979-80.
300 up and the Border record. And both of them now from the pavilion end will hopefully do the trick for David Gower. It's been a hard struggle for England, but you can't take away from the quality of the Australian batting.
I think he anticipated that. He was almost ducking under it before it ever appeared.
Well, at least Australia lost some of the composure. I think Greg Ritchie thought he was going to get stumped there, which is obviously an impossibility.
And that's out this time. No question at all. Richard moved inside for that leg glance. And umpire Evans there, no hesitation whatsoever. Up goes the finger and Ritchie goes for 94. So both them strikes again to leave Australia 317 for 5 after an excellent partnership.
Well, this is all down to both of them. Ritchie's moved in, thinking he was going to get another bouncer, got right out of position, and he's plumb LBW. Ian Botham once more making things happen.
So a great hand for Greg Ritchie from a full house here at Lord's. 101 to 370, the partnership of 216. A partnership which has put Australia on top here. There it is, and he's picked that up in great style. Glorious 6 runs over deep square by O'Donnell. And I won't say that both of them won't mind it, but he won't be as upset as some people. .398 for 6, Border 196. Well, both of them, if anybody, certainly deserve that wicket. A handshake from the two of them, the end of a fine innings. Lovely piece of bowling by both of them, and Alan Border goes for 196. Beautifully picked up there, lowered slip. And it's 398 for 7. And that's the sort of reception now that Alan Border will get all the way into this famous pavilion. Tremendous effort. 20 for 2 when he came in, Australia in trouble. He's seen them through to a very big lead at the moment, and the whole England team in unison with the crowd, applauding him on his way through into this Lord's Pavilion.
Well, Ian Botham deserved this. He had a couple of plays and miss from Border, but the catch was good. Graham Gooch, low down, both hands.
And one mustn't forget the applause ringing round now is for Botham, because that means he's taken 5 wickets in this innings again, and that's the 25th time he's done that in a test match. No other person has taken 5 wickets 25 times. It's his 8th time at Lord's. And that could be out. Yes, and Hulich has gone for naught. Botham's taken a wicket in the very first over. Alan Lamb taking the catch down at deep square leg. And Australia, needing 127 to win this test match, have lost their first wicket without a run on the board.
Ian Botham in full cry here.
That's in the air, and a simple catch, and Botham's got another wicket. That gives him 1 past Bob Willis. 9 for 2, Australia, and Botham has disposed of both openers now. Elliott back on his mark, ready again. Oh, and he's bowling. Hallett punches the air, a well-deserved victim for him. 22 for 3, Australia. And the great Ritchie goes, clean bowl by Paul Hallett for just 2. Oh, it's quick, and he's done it. Oh, God, really very, very smart reaction there. Vessels pushing forward, just a fraction out of his ground in a flash. Gow had that ball back, hit the wicket, and it's 63 for 4 with Kepler Vessels running it. And he's bowling. Edmonds strikes a very much deserved wicket there for Phil Edmonds, and David Boone goes for just a single. It's 65 for 5. And still a lot of cricket to be played in this match. Good shot.
Good shot. There's a thought around that Wayne Phillips might not know what a crisis is, Tony.
Well, this is evidence, if you required any. Again, picked up the length of the ball, which is a little on the short side so quickly.
And that's a good shot. It wasn't a bad ball. It was certainly not short, but it just allowed Phillips enough room to play the cut. And Border must have been searching desperately for a partner. Found just the man in Wayne Phillips. Good catch. Edmonds. He's bowled beautifully this morning. That was a splendid catch. And England back in with a breath of hope again. Here's Phil Edmonds. Well, the invitation was there, and he hasn't mucked around with it. He smashed it straight over the boundary, alongside the side screen, and Alan Border will have just a little half smile on his face at that. And that's it. O'Donnell has hit the winning runs. Border has given his jump of pleasure. And, well, he might. He's played such a role in this victory to make certain that when the teams go to Trent Bridge...
Well, yes, I can make a little personal success there, and I quite enjoyed batting on it.
There's O'Donnell bowling to Gower. Lovely strokes of that quality down at Lord's. It was absolutely magnificent.
And how good it is to see David Gower moving that front foot, getting right to the ball. Majestic stroke.
Jeff Lawson to Gower. Good shot again. There's two glorious cover drives from David Gower this morning. Very majestic. Almost casually majestic.
It's the over-pitch one again, and it's driven very firmly for four by David Gower. It really does make it look all so easy when he's in form. Holland again to Gower. It's a lovely shot for Gower's 50, waited for it, placed it nicely away. So 3 runs to David Gower, take him on to 52, the bat's in the air, and another Test match 50 for David Gower.
McDermott to Gower. It's an elegant stroke. All the time in the world. Lovely shot. Got it easy for there. They just race away over the boundary.
Down the wicket, over the top, great shot. Perfectly saved. And Gower goes on to 98.
Fine stroke from David Gower, using his feet, getting right to the pitch of the ball, and chipping that high over mid-on.
Donaldson going to come round the wicket now to Gower. That's it. Nice little nudge off the legs. He'll come back for 2 and 101 then for David Gower. Fine effort of that, up high, 261 for 2, and Gower not out, 101. Century made off 167 balls, 9 fours in it. It's his 10th Test 100, and his 3rd, in fact, against Australia. Oh, it's a beautiful stroke. The stroke of a man in really cracking form.
Brilliant shot. All the time in the world.
That's another great shot on the onside this time. He rocked into position so quickly, powered it away, and David Gower moves on to 146. Still to be Craig McDermott. It's over-pitched and driven with all the ease and grace that one has come to expect. 4 more. 150 for David Gower. Off comes the cap. He's pushed his boundary collection on to 15 now. And he's received just 258 balls for that 150. So Bob Holland immediately going to come round the wicket to David Gower, looking once again for a bit of rough he might find outside off stump. Well, would you believe it? It really has not been Mike Gattin's season, has it? Ball ricocheting off the bowler, Mike Gattin just slightly out of his ground, and he's got to go run out for 74, and the 3rd English wicket goes down at 358.
Really bad like that for Mike Gattin. He wasn't backing up very far, but David Gower hit this so hard as he rocks back and he really crashes it again. And Bob Holland just gets a touch. And that's out.
And this is Simon O'Donnell. We're going to see him come in now from the Radcliffe Road end. Oh, well bowled. Yes, beauty. Gower goes, he gets the first one really this morning, which has lifted, taken off and moved away. Outside edge, and he goes for 166. So immense relief to Australia to see the back of the England captain, because this has been a superb innings from him. 166 out of 365 for 4. He's dominated this English batting today, and this really has been an absolute joy to watch.
It was disappointing again. We had a mini collapse for the last 6 or 7 wickets that went down for 60, 70 runs, and that left us, instead of being, as you say, 600 on the board and really in the pound seats, it left us somewhat short. And when 2 guys played very well for Australia, and that rather made a mockery of that, and it condemned the game, I suppose, to be a draw from then onwards.
In fact, your collapse really started with that extraordinary incident with Mike Gatting being run out.
Not the best way to be out, of course. I mean, you've got to feel sorry for the guy. He'd played very well, actually, and was still in the same sort of form that he'd showed throughout the winter in India, and had started off with at Headingley. And from his point of view, it's very disappointing. From mine as well, because we had been going well. And, of course, afterwards, things went rapidly downhill.
And then, of course, you had Graham Wood and Greg Ritchie, both of whom played extremely well.
Yes, Graham Wood, it was a bit of a saving innings for him. He'd been struggling a bit in the Test matches up until then, but played very well. Never had a problem, very controlled, very disciplined, very good innings indeed. Greg Ritchie escaped at the start of the innings, I think. He had a little let-off early on.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Which is, again, you look back on these things and you think, if only we'd held on to that, that sort of thing.
He did have a little let-off as well when he was caught down 3rd man off the no ball.
Yes, he'd got a few more by then, I think. And actually, that was one of the most exciting parts of the game. There was 2 or 3 overs of doing both and bowling. I think it was electric as anything that we saw throughout the entire series.
It was a magnificent little period, and also a bit of a challenge to you.
I quite enjoyed it, actually. I thought we did most things right there. I thought, obviously, Ian was steamed up a bit. The situation was not just electric, but a tinge explosive as well. And I thought I came out of it quite well. I thought I did all the right things, spoke to the right people at the right time. Ian was still going. I said, you just get on and bowl, which he did. And he had that burst, which was a make or break effort, really. But you do need that sort of burst. You need people like Ian to come on, to entertain. And in this case, of course, from my point of view, to try and take the wicket. It was, let's say, the most important part about the whole issue was it was exciting Test cricket, good entertainment, exactly what players and public should be enjoying.
So you've gone from Trent Bridge, what you might term an honourable draw, I suppose, for both teams, and you've gone up to Old Trafford. Did you have the feeling when the Australians went into that match that they were sort of looking around the weather and the thought of a draw and they hold the Ashes and let's just be a bit defensive and hang in there?
I think the weather started to come into it a bit more later on in the game. I don't think they thought that at the start of the game. I'd be very surprised if they did. And there's still 3 Test matches to go. We'd only got halfway through the series. There's still, supposedly 15 days cricket left. Now, I mean, I certainly wasn't thinking that. I was thinking there's another chance to get ahead again. I thought it was our turn. We'd had a 1-1, lost one, drawn one. I thought, right, it's our turn to win one again now.
What about Mike Gattings batting up there?
Oh, great. I mean, he hadn't made 100 in this country in Test cricket before. He'd played well through the first 3 Test matches. He got at least 150 in all of them. And as I say, his form in the winter had been magnificent. He was looking good, and I was delighted to see him get it. He played very well again, 160 on that wicket, which was slowish. He played some good shots. He really dominated proceedings, actually, all while he was at the crease.
It's through mid-on with a fine on drive. And Mike Gatting really found his touch. A long chase. In fact, could run 4 if it hadn't gone over the ropes.
It's 4 more. That's a lovely shot. Beautifully placed. Gatting goes to within 4 of a century. That was a lovely shot, copybook stuff. There it is, 100 for Gatting. He's already gone past his 1,000 runs for the summer. It's his first Test 100 against Australia and the first he's ever made in this country. And a nice moment to be able to be congratulated by his teammate from Middlesex, Paul Downton. Mike Gatting, 100, 179 balls and 14 boundaries. A splendid innings.
That's a great way to get things away after tea. Half volley clipped away quite beautifully, as has been his wont here all day. 4 runs on the leg stump.
Yes, Sam McDonald just straying there down the leg side, and Mike Gatting clipping it away, picking it up without any problem at all, just past the square leg umpire.
So that gives England a 3-figure lead now, 101 runs ahead. They're looking for another 100 fairly quickly. That's another beautiful stroke. Really flying from Gatting's bat now. Clipped through that vacant area between mid-wicket and mid-on for 4 more. Exactly the sort of acceleration that England need and this massive Old Trafford crowd enjoy. Beautifully placed again, perfectly timed for 4 more. Just simply leant on that, picked the right spot and found it.
Well, Mike Gatting certainly playing some classic shots here today. And another beauty there. Beautiful follow through, head perfectly still and plenty of power into the shot.
So Lawson continuing to peg away here. Oh, beautiful stroke. Really has played that so well here. Short outside the off stump, right on top of it, cracked it away square. 4 more for Gatting.
4 runs and 150 for Mike Gatting.
And he's gone this time, finally at the end. A catch to the wicket-keeper at the end of a magnificent innings of 160 from Mike Gatting. 430 for 6, another 5 wickets in an innings for McDermott. But that really has been a magnificent performance from Michael Gatting.
It has been a marvellous comeback for him, and it really has been a comeback rather than just a fella coming up and making runs.
Oh yes, he's been around a while, hasn't he?
That's right. And what about the other aspect of him in this series, being vice-captain to you?
Well, I think, again, that started in India. I think that was something which gave him perhaps the added confidence that, you know, people believed in him now, that people had confidence in him, that he could go out and do the job. And he's helped me without a doubt. He's been a good man, sort of scuttling around behind me, thrusting ideas forward, which I can either take or leave as I wish. He's